YouTube.
It's not your camera. Oh, wait. Yeah, that is your camera. Okay. So we're back with Patrick Atchley, the artist formerly known as Patchley.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's me.
This guy, if you listen to the intro, if you don't skip past it immediately, it's his song. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
classic.
classic. Almost. Wait, no,
Oh,
always.
Always. Yeah,
I can't.
that song. I think I made that at like the end of 2013. So like this is like right out of high school.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, that's a pretty old song.
Oldie but goldie, man.
Oldie but goldie. Yeah,
Oldie but goldie. All right.
they're still hanging around there on SoundCloud.
Yeah, you got a dedicated fan base somewhere.
They're somewhere, or I don't know if they're there anymore, but actually, you know what? There's some people that I still see some like traffic on my SoundCloud. Like I think no one like actually searches for me, but it's like I only have like 2 songs still on my SoundCloud, and they're like my most successful songs.
Oh, True North.
Yeah, True North,
North.
and Always, the intro song. And I think the only thing that keeps them traction gives them traction is like that they can be found on like the related tracks of other like big tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty cool. So every once in a while I get like 100 plays a week now.
Oh, right on.
So I mean it's nothing crazy, but they're still in rotation somewhere.
Yeah. They're at a dive bar in Philadelphia somewhere being played.
Hey, that would be sick, man. That would
be
be sick.
cool, you know. I mean, you wouldn't
That
know
would be
about it,
sick.
but like just, you know, kind of your reach is
Yeah.
beyond what you even know. Anyway, all right, I asked these questions. So let's see how you do, all right? See if you do well on the test. Have you changed much since school?
Since high school?
I mean, the question just says school, so I guess it could be high school or college, you know.
From high school, definitely, and I hope everyone would have. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, a little bit at least.
But like, yeah, I mean, in high school, I didn't really know myself, and like, I did a lot of
drugs.
Drugs, yeah. I did
drugs.
No, like when I did a lot of like
SEOKY.
I did like a lot of experimenting with like especially music, like finding my music taste and like sense of style and just ways of expressing myself. Like I spent a lot of years like kind of fumbling through that, and like you know, making music was a part of that, and just like all the embarrassing outfits that I wore like early college, just like exploring my sense of style and just like how to express myself and like learning who I am so that I can express myself. So
right.
And just like growing in you know, maturity, and I've become a lot like more serious in my faith growing up, in Christianity and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely say I've changed, and I'm still doing that, you know, still trying to like figure out, you know, exactly who I am, and you know, how to just express that. So
man, that was a really good answer. I wouldn't.
You think so? Maybe I'm in interview mode, because like last year I was like spent so much time like prepping for job interviews that I would just like sit down and just like.
So this is just an interview. Okay.
Yeah, this is an interview for to be my friend. I get to be your friend.
Oh, I would pass that by now. Well, that's good, man. And then I think they always say a lot of people don't change like past high school. Like at least most of your ideas are pretty much the same since high school. Maybe I'm thinking fashion sense. One of those.
I would say, yeah. I mean, to an extent. I mean, obviously,
we're still the same idiots at the end of the day.
I'm still the same idiot. I mean, I'm just a little smarter now, and I'm still an idiot. But, yeah, I would say I didn't have like a complete 180 degrees turn from like music taste and clothing taste. I think I just got better at it. You know, better at understanding like what it actually is, and like. Yeah, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are people that just don't change at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're literally the same person.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
commendable, you know.
Yeah.
I guess to figure out
the consistency
that early,
yeah,
and then just stick with it, or maybe they just don't know anything. Okay. All right. So that was what, like 7 minutes for the first question. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
We only got 100 more. So,
Let's go.
Favorite memory as a kid?
Man, this is a hard one.
I know. You have so many good ones or bad ones?
No, man. I have so many. My childhood was like literally perfect. Not to be like in a braggy way, but like
Right, yeah.
I was just like, I grew up in a neighborhood like full of friends, and like
Keep talking.
I grew up in a neighborhood full of friends and just going out in the neighborhood and just like building forts in the woods and playing basketball and like playing war with like fake guns and stuff, just like living the literal childhood dream.
Yeah, I feel bad for kids nowadays, because especially right now where they can't do anything outside.
Yeah, I mean,
they can't do what they're told, because
I mean, we lived in an age of technology, but you got to think. So cell phones weren't really a big thing, like especially smartphones.
Yeah,
they weren't a thing until like high school. Like we were pretty much grown by then, and like I think that.
And that sweet spot between technology, like,
yeah,
being not that great to being really good. So
yeah, and like we lived through like, I mean, we both, video games have been like influential in our lives. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like we literally lived through like the video game revolution.
Yeah.
Like to think that like we were playing. I mean, I started out on Game Boy Color playing
Me too.
Wario Land 3.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Same exact one.
Dude, that game was so good. That's still one of my most favorite games of all time. But like just to think that we were playing Game Boy Color as a kid, and now we have like VR and PS5s and like these insane graphics cards and computers and stuff. It's like we literally lived through like the video game revolution.
And we're not even that old either, so we can still enjoy like
we can still
20,
enjoy
30
it.
years from now.
I just feel bad for the kids now growing up in video games, because
they have their expectations are already so high that it's like,
it's like
we started from the bottom, to quote Drake.
yeah.
Anyone quoted that song in a long time.
I mean, it's like, I just feel, for lack of better words, I feel like it's stagnant right now, because they can't make as significant leaps as they've made in the past like 20 years. You know what I mean? Like
Half-Life 3 has not come out yet.
Half-Life 3 has not come out yet. But you got to think, like, graphics are really good right now.
Yeah.
And like games are like, they've advanced so much. For us to make the leap from like Game Boy Color to where we are now, if we make that same leap from where we're at now to wherever that would literally be like fully immersible VR. You know what I mean? Like actually like
all your senses.
Yeah, like all your senses.
Taste,
Yeah,
that's
to put in contrast, that would be the leap that we would have to make to get that for them today. Like for them to experience the same leap that we did.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, do you remember what the question was?
Favorite childhood memory. Okay, yeah, we're going back. But yeah, just to say, all I'll say that is like video games were like a huge part of my childhood.
Yeah,
and
Halo.
like, well, yeah, Halo, but like even before Halo, just like getting a Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Like my mom made me learn how to
GoldenEye?
read. I never had GoldenEye.
What?
I was just like a Smash Bros. And Mario kind
I
of
got
guy.
you borrow it then, man. That game was the game that my mom put on top of the refrigerator so we couldn't play it.
Oh my
Because it was
gosh.
too violent. So if that gives you any perspective of games nowadays,
Yeah.
kids like at age 7 playing Call of Duty, murdering people and dropping all sorts of words they shouldn't at that age or any age. But GoldenEye was deemed too violent back then. So
GoldenEye's I know it's a classic, man. I mean, people still speedrun that game.
dude, it's so good. It's so good.
But yeah, just like getting the Nintendo 64, playing I was like infatuated with Smash Brothers, man. Like I was
You
just
still
like,
are.
yeah. I mean, it's still a great game, but
Yeah.
and Pokemon, like
Pokemon.
yeah, just like just having a neighborhood full of friends, and just like I had a good family, and just video game. Like I was living the dream as a kid, honestly.
Right. Now you're an adult.
Now I'm an adult, and it's just like it's all crashing down around me.
Well, anyway, that's a good segue to the next question. What's your favorite memory in recent history?
Recent history.
I guess buying a house or something.
Buying a house is pretty cool, but it's kind of lame at the same time. I mean, it's just like
It
something.
sucks going through all that paperwork, doesn't it?
The paperwork, and like I've been trying to furnish my house, and that's just
Yeah, tell me about it.
that's just a whole other ordeal, man. And it's like with COVID, and it's it's just such a bad time to buy furniture and appliances. You have these crazy wait times. But favorite memory in recent history.
This podcast?
This podcast, yeah, this is it.
Or not a podcast.
Not a podcast.
That's what it's called. It's not a podcast. That's the name, by the way. I finally decided on the name.
Not a podcast.
Not a podcast, because I always thought it sounds pretentious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yes, I'm the host of a podcast. You know, I don't want to be like that, but
I mean, I guess recent history, just graduating, getting a job, and buying a house. I mean, it's not as lame as that
really
sounds.
sorting yourself out. I mean, that's not
Sorting
lame,
yourself
you know?
out. Yeah.
You know, figuring out, you know, we're adults now. We're not kids at Waffle House at 12 at night anymore, sadly. That was fun times, though.
They were good times.
Remember that double denim lady?
Dude, I still tell people about her to this day.
Dude, it's nuts, man. I remember we was there one time and she said something about, or we was leaving. She was sitting in the booth by the door, and she says, "You know they killed that man out there, right?" I was like, "What?"
Dude,
It's like, "That man out there. There's blood on the pavement." It's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, they killed that man. So I was like, okay, see
Dude,
ya.
I wish I could remember all the things she said to me.
She came to your work a lot, didn't she?
She came to our work when I worked at Little Dutch. She came to work a lot to just use the bathroom, and then she would leave. But she would talk to the customers and like,
Well, yeah, sounds
just
about
say there was one. So my friend was a busboy there for a little while, and he was asked to escort her out.
Oh, that's nice.
He was asked to escort her out because she would go to the bathroom but just start talking to customers about, you know, whatever she's going on about.
While she was in the bathroom?
No, like she would like on her way or on her way out
yeah,
in the bathroom, you know. And he said that like when he was escorting her out, she turned around and was like, "Did you see your brother back there from the Memphis courthouse?" I mean, he doesn't have a brother. I mean, he doesn't have a like. It's just the most random things. And my favorite double denim story is my friend Devin Parvin. You know Devin Parvin? He was a year younger. Yeah. He was at a church gig playing a show. Like him and his dad played music.
Yeah.
And he like went to the kitchen to get like a snack or something. They had like something in there, and he was just sitting there talking, and Double Denim was in there, and he was talking to her, but he didn't know who she was. And like he described the situation as he was talking to this lady, and like everything was fine, you know. It was like a normal run of the mill small talk conversation, like, "Hey, how are you?" You know, it's a nice little gig we got going on here. It's a fun time, you know. And it's like, just talking small talk. And then he was like, he described it as like slowly devolving into like
Insanity.
her schizophrenia self, you know, schizophrenic self. And she just started rambling about like saying the most random thing. And he was like, "What are you talking about?" I just thought that was so funny. Yeah.
To be like having a normal conversation, then all of a sudden it's like a dream you're having where it's like it starts out normal, and then there's one little thing that happens, and it's like, "Well, I'm not awake right now." You know?
Yeah. Like, yeah, you're just small talking, and then she's like, "You know, there's a dead body out there." Right? You're just like talking about random
Something
stuff.
really ominous sounding too. It was never like nothing fun hearted, like, "Hey, I grew a third arm the other day." It's like something like
they're out there to get me, and they're right there.
They're gonna kill you.
They're gonna kill you.
It's like, what?
I mean, it's kind of sad, but I mean, we didn't. I mean, I haven't seen her in years, so I'm hoping she got like the medication and the help she needed.
I hadn't seen her in a while. I think the last time I seen her was I went and met a couple friends for a lunch thing. It was actually near Little Dutch. It was the Jersey Girl. Yeah. And we parked back between, where like Burger King is and then Main Street right there. We parked there, and it was around Christmas time. We was exchanging gifts or whatever, and then she appears out of nowhere. Dude,
really?
I'm saying nowhere, man. Like,
wait, when was this?
It was a few years back.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 2016, 17, something like that. But we was exchanging gifts, and I opened the card or whatever and was reading it, and then she shows up. She's like, "What you got for me?" I was like, "What?"
Classic.
But yeah, I think she was aware of what she was doing that time because I know, the context of the situation.
Yeah.
Exchanging gifts.
I've actually came in contact with her when she's been like completely normal. So I think she was getting like help or medication. I And to give context for those who don't know what we're talking about, there was a homeless lady, or supposed homeless lady. We didn't really know who she was or where
She
she
got
came
around
from.
though, man.
She got
Like she
around,
would be on the other
but
sides of town and
yeah,
everything.
she had schizophrenia. So she would just like go on these random spurts and just, either cut you out or
Yeah,
like just like
it was a kind
you
of a
would
roll
you
of the
would find her
dice.
around downtown area. But yeah, there was times where she was like completely like a functioning human being. So I think she was getting some medical attention, but
Yeah,
I don't know. Hope she's doing okay though.
yeah, me too. I hadn't seen her in a long time, but is that your favorite memory in recent history? I feel like
Double
we haven't
down.
answered. I feel like we haven't answered any of these
Uh,
questions, so that's
I don't
fine.
know.
That's fine. I
Favorite
prefer
memory
it.
in recent history?
I thought. Oh wait, was it the buying the house and getting a job? The
Yeah, but
old
that's not
man.
really like it's just something that you just do. You know what I mean? Oh, recent history. Favorite memory, recent history. I just got caught up on Attack on Titan, and that show is like just blew my mind.
No, really, my dad actually watches that show.
Gosh, man, it's so
I don't.
good.
I don't.
It's like the first time in a long time I've been like hooked into a show,
Yeah, that's good.
but I just finished it recently, so I guess that's a recent memory.
That's fair. All right. Well, I think we've stuck on that question long enough now. All right. Favorite memory of us. I always like asking questions about me. Good ego
I
boost.
mean,
Oh, you don't have any?
riding
Okay.
riding in the Jeep, listening to Shaq's mixtape is
Dude,
a
I actually
classic.
have that still.
You said I'll have it in your Jeep.
I've got the case in my office, and then I've got the cassette in my car.
That was
so.
a classic memory.
Shaq.
Do you remember
Shaq
where
Diesel.
we were? Do you remember where we were going?
Probably Carm.
Oh yeah, probably were honestly.
So I remember I put the Instagram video. I ran a red light
Dude,
in
you
that
blew
video.
that red light. Oh
I
my
didn't-
gosh, that was so
Well,
funny.
it's hard to film and drive and listen to Shaq Diesel and
Um,
obey all traffic laws.
Yeah, I mean that honestly, the whole Xbox Live saga that we had
Yeah.
in
What was
high
that?
school,
High
like
school, yeah. Every summer we'd stay up till like 7 in the morning playing Xbox.
those were the days, man. I mean those. I mean,
When's the last time you stayed up since 7 o'clock or till 7 o'clock?
probably never. Actually, we we had this thing of going to Cedar Point every year,
Uh-huh.
the music park up in Ohio. And one year we decided so the park would close like 10 or 11 at night. And usually we would just stay another night in the hotel and just drive back to home in the morning. But one of the friends that came with us had to like literally work the next day. So we literally drove from Ohio back home starting at 11 at night. So we just like drove all through the night so that he could work in the morning. And it was just like a
Jeez.
nightmare. So that's probably the last time I stayed up that late. But to get back to the question,
Memory, yeah. We
um,
should just get rid of these. I got these questions to kind of guide a conversation,
Yeah.
but obviously I don't guess we need to have.
I mean, I think we could go on rabbit trails and talk. So I think
yeah.
we need a little bit of guidance. But yeah, I think those days when we were playing Xbox Live, again, like such a good time. But I really like those, I hold those times like near and dear to my heart. Like, I know. I mean, they were just like a staple in like my
our
teen
formative
yeah,
years.
formative
yeah.
years. Like they were, I mean, no responsibilities, just Xbox and Xbox Live and Halo and Left 4 Dead.
It's like a T-shirt you'd get. No
Yeah.
responsibilities, just Xbox.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's kind of cringy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like all the laughs that we had, dude, I wish we would have like recorded some of that stuff. I mean,
it'd be good it'd be bad if some of it was recorded though.
oh
Probably.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot.
obviously. But yeah, man, those were good times. I
Yeah.
think I really cherish those. I mean, a lot of people are just like, you just play video games all day. It's like, no, I'm literally hanging out with
Yeah,
friends. You know
yeah.
what
I mean, if it was just like you playing by yourself and not talking to other people,
Yeah.
it'd be a little more sad. So it's not as sad when you're still with other
yeah.
people. You know.
I don't think would any of us been into Xbox as much as we were if
It was
Xbox
just
Live
us.
wasn't a thing.
Yeah, right.
Like it was about like the relationships that we had and just like talking in Xbox Live party chats, not even
Yeah.
sometimes not even playing games, just sitting in the
Just there.
Xbox Live party chat, just talking for like
yeah, it
all
sounds
night.
like Aaron Reimer.
Aaron
He would always be listening to Vines in the background.
Oh
Remember
my
when Vine was a
gosh,
thing?
Vine. Yeah,
I remember your famous Powers Out Vine.
Powers out.
Yeah, powers
Oh,
out.
we were
That
at
was at
Cody's,
college.
right?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. And you threw the. We had remember the bungee ball we had.
We had the bungee balls from
Picked that up from
Carm.
Carm. Yeah, and then
Classic time,
I
man.
threw it in the bush at a red light, and it got stuck in the bush, and that light turned green. And I was trying to get it back in the car.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you don't remember
Dude,
that?
I
It's
don't
your
remember
car,
that.
I think, because I had to. We was outside of right in front of College Square Mall, and near that shed place, and I threw the bungee ball in that big hedge bush right there. And a bungee ball, when you throw it, it's supposed to come back. Hence the bungee.
Yeah.
It didn't come back, so I was sitting there
Oh
trying
my
to pull
gosh.
it, and the light turned green. And so I pulled it as hard as I could, and it just slammed into the side of the car. It probably left a dent.
Actually, I think I do remember
It
that.
may have left a dent. I don't know, but yeah. But you hit me in the nuts with the bungee ball.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. I just can't have children now.
It's okay.
But anyway, let's see. Number 4. What do you miss about being young?
I mean, like I just said, having no responsibilities, just friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like
Just Xbox. Yeah.
just Xbox. And, just like literally not having to worry about anything, in contrast to like where I'm at now with all the responsibilities I have now as an adult, like growing up and even like in high school, like we didn't really have to care about anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't really do homework ever. I didn't really care about school.
Yeah.
I just played Skate 2 and Halo.
Yeah.
And just played Halo and Call of Duty all the time. And everything, I got along, like look where I'm at now. And yeah, man, it's just having no responsibilities and no care in the world and just hanging out with friends and having a good time and just
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to beat that,
It's
man.
kind of the I talked about this with Austin in my first episode about kind of the ignorance is bliss sort of thing where
Yeah.
it's like you don't really know enough to care enough, and so I don't know. I mean, we have more freedom now, but it's like, what do we really do with that freedom that we have as an adult? And it just, I don't know. And again, it goes all back to the stupid virus where everything's either closed or people don't want to do certain things now, and it's just, I don't know. But it is warming up now, and I don't know. I'd like to play some more disc golf.
Yeah, man. I've
Some
been into
tennis
disc
as
golf a
well.
lot. Dude, I wouldn't want to play tennis too.
Dude, tennis is a lot
I
of fun.
freaking love tennis, dude.
It's just very exhausting.
It
'Cause
is.
you're always
I mean,
running
it's
back and
good
forth.
exercise.
Yeah.
I recently got into, well, not recently, but like when I started going to Walter State and going into the BCM, they played ping pong a lot.
Yes.
And I
Ping
got
pong.
into ping pong so hardcore, dude.
Did you hold the paddle upside down? Like instead of holding it like this, you'd hold it like this, or you?
No,
Oh,
that's
so not that good.
That's called pinhold.
Oh, there's
And
a name for it.
it's called pinhold, and you hold it like a pin, like yeah. I mean, it's a good form, but like it's really hard. But yeah, anyway, I got into ping pong like so hardcore. Like I was watching videos. I
Bruce
was
Lee with nunchucks.
yeah, I was watching videos on form. I was watching videos on like how to spin the ball and like the different kinds of rubbers. Like I had
God.
like an $80 to $100 paddle. Like
Make paddles that expensive,
dude,
Oh my
you
God.
wouldn't believe there's paddles out there. So you buy the blade, which is like the handle and the wooden part that goes through
Right,
the
yeah.
paddle. So that's called the blade, and then you have your rubbers. And literally, you can get paddles that like each rubber, like both rubbers, like each rubber is $400. Like
What?
just one side of the rubber.
Oh my
And then like
God.
the blade itself is like $400, or like it's like you can get like really high, like if you get obviously the ones that like China uses, and like
Yeah,
I mean
it's just the little probably like flake board wood or little plywood that they use for the handle and or the
Yeah.
blade, and then just some sort of synthetic rubber. or
Yeah.
it's nothing great.
it's I
That's
mean,
crazy.
yeah, I got into it a lot, and like when I got to ETSU, I was already like, because I was at Walter State for a few years, and then when I went to ETSU and started playing at that BCM,
Yeah.
like I was like at that point I was really good, and I think I was undefeated at the BCM for like the whole first year I was there.
Huh.
But anyway, I met a Japanese foreign exchange student at ETSU who played table tennis for his school back in Japan. And like this was the first time I'd ever played against a traditional like Japanese play style or Chinese play style.
Uh-huh.
And dude, it blew my mind because it was like
He demolished you. Or did you actually hold up against him?
He was better than me just because his form was so good. Like he had formal training.
Oh, right.
And like
you were just videos. And...
Yeah, I was like videos and just trying to mimic what I was watching and just like I watched a lot of videos and I got really good, but his form was just perfect and he was like that allowed him to be a lot more consistent than I was. Yeah. And I think that's what really
that's consistency is something they don't talk about a lot in sports, especially golf. Mm-hmm. You play golf
play disc golf.
Well, that's yeah. I mean,
not as technical, I don't think.
Yeah, well, it's like I mean, I guess it would probably be consistency there to be able to throw it the exact same way. I mean, after
it's a simple concept, but it's it actually is very technical as far as form because you have to use your hips and like shift your momentum and your arm and all your weight into your arm. Like your timing has to be perfect so that when you snap your arm, like it's I don't know. I could go on all day about it, but that
answers one of my other questions.
Yeah, going back to table tennis, I'm at the foreign exchange student. We started playing like 2 or 3 times a week at the CPA, which is like the gym and the pool area on campus at ETSU. And we would play all the time. We would just train together. And the ETSU intramurals came along for ping pong. Like they had a campus-wide ping pong tournament. And dude, me and him just demolished everybody.
Nice.
And it was just me and him in the finals. And it was a close game in the finals, but he ended up beating me. But he was better, so he deserved it.
Well, second place ain't bad.
I was proud of my table tennis run.
I was gonna say, man, you went from not knowing hardly anything about table tennis to come in second place in a tournament.
Yeah, I had a good run. I had a good run with table tennis, and it was really fun. After that, I kind of just like school started getting harder, so I just kind of stopped playing. But
was the trophy a golden paddle?
No, it was a T-shirt. Just like, but I mean, it was the meaning. It was the meaning of the T-shirt,
right?
You know?
Yeah, that's well, all right. I thought it was gonna be something like real ceremonial, like a golden ping pong.
I mean, it's not. I mean,
I realize it's just a college tournament.
I mean, when you think of ping pong and like, especially American culture, it's not like a thing,
right? Yeah,
it's not like American football or
except
like
for
basketball.
Like middle school gym teachers.
Yeah,
no one really cares about ping pong.
When you talk about table tennis over in like China or like Germany or something, it's like it's literally their NFL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was kind of sad that it wasn't like bigger in the U.S. then, but
hey, bring it back, man.
I'm gonna bring it back.
Bring it.
You know what?
Maybe not bring it back. Bring it
here
to begin with. So someone later can bring it back.
There was oh man, what was his name? I want to remember his name. There was a 16-year-old kid from the U.S. that was he was the only American in the top 100 players in the world.
What was everyone else? Japanese?
Well, it's dominated by Chinese players. Like
Chinese.
They're the best. I mean, they're so good. But Germany and other European European countries. But yeah, ping pong's fun. I didn't see myself as like a ping pong player. I didn't think that was ever something I would get into. But I went
it's
deep
about
in
the
it.
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you remember what that question was?
Favorite memory of us?
No, it was what do you miss about being young?
Oh, miss about being young.
That's fine. You don't have to answer.
Okay.
No, that's good.
I think I answered it.
Yeah,
just
probably.
Having no responsibilities and just hanging out with friends.
That was it. It was kind of the same as the third one. All right. If you remember, who was your favorite teacher?
Honestly, just any teacher that could roll with the punches.
Right, yeah.
Like
anyone that didn't take it so seriously.
Yeah, like in
high school, dude.
Yeah, in middle school, I was like just a little hellion. Like I was just causing trouble all the time.
That's when you had long hair.
That's when I had long hair, and I was in detention and in school like every week. And like I wasn't a bad kid. Like I wasn't like.
Say it to the camera, buddy.
I wasn't a bad kid. I just liked making people laugh, and I liked talking to friends.
Class clown.
Yeah, I was class clown, I guess. But man, I just loved laughing, and I loved making people laugh and just talking. And like that was like the end of me. in middle school.
They're trying to stifle.
Yeah,
your,
they were trying
creativity, man.
to put me down, you know.
That ain't right, man.
But yeah, in high school, um, yeah, any teacher that could just roll with the punches, you know, just like have a good time and make, you know, have a good laugh, you know, and not just be like, dude, just shut up and do the test or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
it
just
was a
send me to
job
in
them.
school.
Yeah.
I would say, wait, what was the question?
Favorite teacher.
Favorite teacher. One that comes to mind, Ricky Witt, man.
Oh, Coach Witt. Yeah, it's criminal justice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Criminal
I never had
justice.
him, but I always heard a lot of good things about him.
He was like the perfect balance of a teacher. Like he was funny.
Like a good blade.
Yeah. He was funny. He could roll with the punches, and he would laugh with us. But he was also a teacher that was well respected. Like everyone respected him.
I didn't even have him, and I always heard a lot of good stuff about him.
He was just a nice. I mean, I think he was a pastor too.
Yeah,
I think he was.
so.
And but he was just like, he was funny. He could make us laugh. He could roll with the punches, and he was very like, he did a good job, and he was just like respectable. You know, teachers that you just didn't respect that were just like, you know, those sticklers that just didn't like for you to have any fun. Like, you didn't respect them. You know what I mean? So you just did whatever in their class. But like, you had a good time in Mr. Witt's class, and at the same time you respected him, so you didn't want to like piss him off.
Yeah. Given his cop background as well, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Ricky Witt, he was a good teacher, and I mean there was other good teachers at our high school that could like roll with the punches and have a good time. But
yeah, it's one of those things. Like some teachers, they command respect.
Yeah,
and usually kids are real good about like sniffing out stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely, man.
So if you try and act like someone you're not, like a teacher, if they're trying to act like this real, you know, tough guy, it's like we can see right through that.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like every single high schooler on earth has like
they're ruthless.
they're ruthless, and they're very what's the word? They're very
octopus.
They're very combative to authority, for lack of better words. Like they clash with authority.
Yeah.
And like when you start demanding that authority, it's just like you're hitting a brick wall there. There's
rebel teen, you know. It's that teenage angst, is I think is what it's
exactly.
Called. But all right, favorite subject?
Honestly, I mean, criminal justice was fun because Ricky made it interesting. He made it fun, and he made it like something that it wasn't just learned about cells. You know what I mean?
Like jail cells?
Cells? No, like biology cells.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really have a favorite subject. It was all
detention.
Just detention, yeah. And once I got to high school, I wasn't really in detention or.
I was gonna say I didn't think you.
I kind of just matured because like I came to like a self-realization that I was just like a cringy little kid that said like everything that came to his mind, and I was like, I just need to shut up sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was just kind of school to me. Like I didn't really have a favorite subject. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I was just like, gosh, I just got to go to school, and like I didn't really look.
Well, okay, maybe let me rephrase it. What was there something that you was learning in school that was like much higher in your interests? Like you was like, man, this is really cool to learn about, as opposed to like mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell or something. I mean, I know you're into music a lot. Did you take any?
No, I wasn't. I didn't. No, I was in choir at Walter State.
They have a choir at Walter State.
Yeah. We sang at Carnegie Hall in New York, man.
I worked there, and I didn't know that.
Oh, really? Wait, you worked there?
Yeah.
How would you wait. Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah. You do the IT stuff.
I didn't know we had a choir.
Yeah.
Cut this out of the video.
No, like, dude, honestly, this is going to sound bad, but I don't think I can remember anything I learned in high school.
I mean,
if I do, it's like a foundation that I have now that I can.
You don't associate with high school.
I think, what I've learned from college and high school is that they just teach you how to learn things. So
when you get to college, when you actually learn something important, you know how to do it. Like note taking is something that People
Yeah,
don't know how
I
to
feel
do.
like
And-
college, especially, like it wasn't really about what specific information I took away from college. It was about the ability to learn and adapt to like
right.
new things. Like so when I get a job,
You'll be
I
able to
can
learn.
I can learn how to do that job.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's a good point because when I was hired on, they said, I'm only 26, so I don't have
Hmm.
as much experience as some of the other applicants, and they said part of the reason we picked you is because your willingness to learn and it was a lot quicker than what we thought other people's were. So it's not about what you know, it's about how fast you can know something, if that makes
Yeah,
any sense. Adaptability is something
adaptability. I think that's like really what I took away from high school and college. It wasn't any specific information because pretty much every test in my whole life, like high school and college, was just cramming information that was
memorizing.
that I couldn't tell you what it was the day after the test. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, it's all just memorizing
Um,
until you take the test and then you just wipe it from your mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean that really helped me coming to that realization and like talking about that in interviews because like that's what they want to hear. You
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
you can learn and that you can adapt to things
Don't want
and
someone set in their ways with bad habits or
Yeah.
something like that.
And I mean, especially specifically with my job, I mean, the software that I work with, I had zero exposure to or even knew what it was during college. So, like, when I got my job, it was like a completely new thing that they
Right.
had to teach me from the ground up. So, being able to learn and being able to adapt to new things, like, was the only reason I was able to
Right,
be
yeah.
successful in my job.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would say the most valuable thing from public school. And this is public school specifically is social skills.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that was the most valuable. I think that's really
Thank God we weren't homeschooled, right?
no. I mean,
I don't know any homeschooled people.
it's not required to be in public school to develop social skills, but it really helps you. It
Sports
really
does
helps
too,
you.
playing like
Yeah,
baseball or soccer,
Sports,
something like that.
but like
Football will take a few brain cells, so it
Yeah.
might hurt a little bit.
I mean, I like to be friends. I like to make friends with like everybody. I talk to everybody. And there was people that didn't like me or like I rubbed the wrong way. And
why you're here right
I would literally ask myself, I'd be like, okay, why do they not like me? Or why do they think I'm annoying? Like,
Right.
and it makes you analyze who you are and how you're interacting with people, and you come to a realization, okay, maybe I shouldn't say that, or maybe I shouldn't do this
Maybe I
or
was a
that.
jerk or
Maybe I
something, yeah.
should shape my personality and social skills in this way so I can be more presentable to the community. And like, yeah, I think that's like the most valuable thing from
You
public
get so
school.
smart all of a sudden. All of your answers have been so deep and profound. I just said English for my answer last time for the subject. You're over here talking about like some philosophical stuff. I'm like, dog, English.
I mean, I don't
It's
know,
fine.
like that's just what I think.
I need to have dumber guests.
I didn't I didn't really care what I was learning about in math because I don't know, I didn't use that in my interview. Like I literally there was people in my college graduating class that were leagues smarter than me. Straight A's, they had all the nice internships, they had like just way smarter than me and way more just like like at a steel trap of a mind where they could just trap all the information. Yeah, retain everything. And like they were so smart, but
Couldn't talk their way out of a paper bag.
they could not, they had no social skills.
Yeah.
So like you have to have that to get a
You
job.
gotta get a good balance.
You
know?
like you literally have to have social skills to get a job.
Yeah.
Because if you can't do a good interview, like you're not going to get a job. Like your resume and your qualifications are meant to get you into the door,
Right.
but like the interview is what gets you the job.
Especially if your job is kind of customer based, helping
Exactly. Yeah.
customers or whatever, which
Yeah.
most jobs are in some way.
Hmm.
But my job is, because I have to help students and instructors and stuff like that. So having a personality, and then you know how people are with computers.
Yeah.
When it comes to a computer, they get really mad if it doesn't work exactly the way they want it. So you got to kind of calm them down. You're like, hey, it's okay. Oh, down, girl. So stuff like that. But,
Yeah, but it's. Okay, I lost my train of thought.
that's fine. Have we ever had one this whole time? We just kind of.
Soft skills. You need soft skills.
This is turning into how to become an adult
how
podcast.
how to get a job.
Yeah.
That's what this title of this episode is.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'll write
man,
that
like
down.
there's people that are so much smarter than me, but they just like I saw them not get a job.
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead. Sorry.
because they just couldn't talk, they
Yeah.
couldn't carry on a conversation and present themselves and present, what they can bring to the job and present, what their qualifications were aside from what's on their resume.
Yeah, they have to back
You
up
just
what
have
their
to, you have to be
resume
able to talk to people.
Right, absolutely. But I was going to say that, so I wasn't always full time at Walter State. I was part time for a little bit, and I was at TCAT at the time. And at TCAT, there was there was a main instructor and then the assistant instructor. And the assistant instructor got let go for budgeting reasons or something like that. But this was around the time they posted the job that I got initially, and I applied for the job, of course, and then I got the job, of course, and then I talked to the people later on, and they said that one of the other applicants was the assistant instructor at TCAT that I got the job over.
Oh, really?
But he was such a social. What's a bad animal? Not a butterfly, but like a moth, like a social moth. Where he couldn't. It was just. And that
It's
job
like-
was answering phones and helping people.
Yeah.
So you had to be able to talk to people.
It's literally so important, man. And people overlook it. They think like, oh, I'm going to get this education and then I'm going to get a job. And that's just going to be and that's the case for some things. Like if you go to school for 12 years to get your PhD,
For like a doctor's job or like, something
I mean,
like that.
if I feel like when you go to school for that long, like to get your PhD and like, or whatever, I think jobs come a little bit more easily.
Yeah,
It's kind of just like,
more-
okay,
the scales
you've
tip,
proved
but-
yourself. Here's the job.
Yeah, nerd. You
But like, but if you just go get your bachelor's, you still have something to prove. You know what I mean?
Right,
And it's
yeah.
still very competitive. And
yeah, I guess that's a good point because if a lot of people don't get the doctorate. So I can't even say it. Most people don't get that, so it's the people that do get it that puts them a league above people that just get bachelors. I've only got an
Absolutely,
associate's,
yeah.
so I had to rely on social skills a lot more. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I stopped at associates, and then I got a degree or something from TCAT. I don't know what it's called. It didn't. It's more
like certification.
yeah, I guess, but it was mostly my I guess my social skills, and then also experience as well is something that I think is really important. That's actually one of the questions in here somewhere about which one's more important, like social or which one's more important, education or experience. And I kind of, well, of course, it depends on the job because you don't want to, like a brain surgeon.
Oh
who's
yeah,
just got experience.
I mean,
it depends on the job, but I think in most
it's definitely
fields,
subjective to the job.
I think with most fields, it's probably be experience. Which,
Yeah.
And then people always joke about on job applications, it'll say like entry level worker with 20 years experience, and it's like it's entry level, but that's just that's what they want. They're not like cutting you off if you've only got 5 years experience.
Yes.
That's just their ideal candidate.
Yeah.
Like, again, this is turning into how to get a job.
How to get a job.
But yeah, that was the favorite subject question. That's
Favorite
where
subject.
that started. Okay, here's one that you could probably answer. Something that you're really proud of, and you're lost on the one I thought you could answer.
Well, I'm trying to think. So
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
loaded question.
I think the objectively biggest accomplishment I've had in the recent past is like
Move this back a little bit.
Oh,
just
sorry.
So you don't lick it too much.
honestly just like graduating college, getting a job and buying a house, just like fulfilling that stereotypical American dream, like making it.
Yeah.
Even though it's not like the most exciting thing. I think that's one thing to be proud of. But I think the most thing that one thing that made me feel the most accomplished was literally just the music that I made like so many years ago.
Yeah.
But at that time, I found a really niche community in SoundCloud that, I found others that were like kind of on the same page as me, and like finding people that are like, oh, there's actually people that want to make the same kind of music and listen to the same kind of music, and developing a following and just like meeting so many artists and other people, and just like the impression the impression that I made on people that found my music back then, when it was like more like niche and underdeveloped. I think it was like the early stages in like the alternative electronic scene, I guess.
Before trap music.
Before trap music. It was like right at the bend, Original Dawn, the Flosstradamus remix had just came out, and that was like the shift between dubstep to trap. So before, SoundCloud was just like before dubstep was, or SoundCloud was just dubstep and like hip hop beats. And when the Flosstradamus remix of Original Dawn came out, that was when they incorporated the snare, the 808 snare, and like the drop instead of just like wubs,
Yeah.
So
Wubs,
the drop was not like a dubstep drop; it was like a trap drop, and that was like that revolutionized. I think electronic music is like, there's pre-Flosstradamus remix and there's post-Flosstradamus remix. I really think that's how.
Jesus.
Yeah, I really think that's how revolutionary it was for electronic music. But we were all just like high school and early college students, just making music in our bedroom. But it was just so nice to make an impression on people and seeing people enjoy the stuff that I like had created, and just the people that I met. Who most of them have gone on to make to become big and like do good like big things, but I kind of just stopped making music to go to college.
Well, apparently there's a rumor mill that you're coming back in 2021.
2020.
22.
Well, I'm taking piano lessons now. I want to. I never learned how to play piano, and I think that learning piano and learning music theory was something that really held me back. I think that was the brick wall that I hit when making music. When I first started making music, I would just make a beat or two every week, or a song or two every week, and just put it on SoundCloud and not think anything of it. Like, oh yeah, this is a cool song. But as I started to develop in my skills and my listening to more music, my standards for what a good song was exceeded my ability to make a song. So I hit a brick wall with music theory and just like making a song. So I just kind of just stopped.
Yeah, you can only get so far, I guess, from street knowledge of music.
I didn't know anything about music.
I don't either.
I didn't know.
Do you know how to read sheet music now, or?
I kind of, but I don't want to do I want to learn
tablature for like guitar, but that's about it.
I really just want to learn improv and like learning music theory and like
jazz.
Yeah, I'm into jazz. Yeah.
That's one of the questions in here.
Yeah, I thought about taking, professional jazz piano lessons, just because they teach you so much about harmony and just like improv, that you can just translate that to like whatever kind of music that you want. I think having that base understanding of like being able to go through every single major scale and play the triads of all seven all seven keys in each major scale, and just like understanding harmony, understanding notes and how they relate to each other. I think that's so much more valuable than just like being able to read sheet music.
Yeah, because you can kind of, if you know pretty much the whole scale of music, you're more inclined to improv, because you know that if I do a scale down here, I know that this scale up will sound good with this one.
Yeah.
I sound like an idiot right now, but you know what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. It's like having a full understanding of the whole range of notes kind of allows you to improv, because you can think it in your head like, yeah, this will sound kind of cool, and then you do it and it does, because you understand the way, the fundamentals of it.
Yeah, I think it's you train your ear, and you can hear things, and when you play a chord, you know what it can resolve to or extend to, and you just train your ear, and you just train your mind to know where to go, or what your options are. Music theory doesn't tell you where to go; it just gives you the options. Or like, okay, you can go here.
What is it?
Circle of fifths.
Circle of fifths. Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked into that a little bit. That's about all I've done. So there's my musical knowledge.
I've done a little bit of circle of fifths, but I haven't spent much time there. I've just been trying to memorize scales and just if you can memorize all the scales and like play and like memorize all the inversions of like major scales, you will be so good. You will be so like prepared for whatever else, if you want to go into like jazz improv or something like that.
Yeah. And
I
you don't
think
just have to write a song that's an E, an A,
Yeah.
and a G. And
Yeah,
then repeat
exactly. And it helps with transposing,
Yeah.
um,
Changing keys, stuff
changing
like
keys.
that. Ha, I knew what that word meant.
But yeah, I was watching videos on like jazz piano, and this guy who's like a really well-known jazz pianist and like electronic producer, I guess, in the scene right now. He said he went to a professional jazz teacher, and the teacher literally told him, "Don't come back until you memorize all the major scales, and you can play the triads of each key in each major scale." So playing the root, third, and fifth, and go da 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 for every single major scale, and like you have to know the
Is
piano
that the
that
reason
way.
you go to a teacher is so they can teach you that?
Well, that's not really that's just like memorization. Like it's not something that's
It's teachable.
it's not really you can't really. I mean, you can say, hey, this is the C on the keyboard. This is the note C, and then it just goes C D E F G
Yeah.
A B C. That's not really something that you can spend a lot of time learning. It's just something
Yeah.
that you learn,
do
and
on
then
your
you have to memorize. Like basically, you're being asked to remember. 12 seven-letter words. So if you memorize every major scale, each major scale has 7 notes.
And there's
And there's-
five
and
black
there's-
keys or whatever. Is that it?
Yeah, there's 5 black keys, but there's 12 notes in an octave. So if you remember every major scale, you're pretty much remembering 12 seven-letter words. And when you think about it that way, it's not that hard to remember, but it's just training your mind and fingers to just be able to play that anywhere.
That's cool, man. Yeah. That's
Yeah, I mean, you can go as deep as you want with music theory. I mean, that's
Yeah.
really just the surface.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I guess that sufficiently answers that question. Oh, to go back to the thing you said very early on, because I can't relate to SoundCloud very much, but like you said about buying a house and
Yeah.
getting a good job. I think you said it sounds like it's kind of boring, but I think it leans more into the gaining your independence, basically.
Yeah.
Like you're not having to depend on other people to survive. It's like
Yeah.
when you're a kid in high school, your mom brings you pizza rolls. so,
Yeah.
that's how you live. But now, you have to pretty much fend for yourself, but you're able to do it because you've been raised and you've able to earn enough money to actually sustain a life without other
Mhm.
people's involvement. So I wouldn't say it's lame to buy a house just because I've also bought a house, and don't call me lame.
Dude, you're so lame for having a house,
Yeah, I know.
man. What the
Yeah, what a
heck?
loser. But it's more of your independence, I guess. It's
Yeah.
kinda-
And the reason I say it's not as exciting is you're just you're meeting an expectation. Like the world
it's not gonna take care of you
yeah,
at
the
all.
world, I mean, especially in the United States, like you're just expected to become a member of society. We live in a society.
Yeah, there you go,
Um,
Joker. Don't shoot me, please. I'm the interviewer. Okay?
No,
Don't shoot me.
we it's just like you're meeting an expectation. Like you're expected to go to college and get a job and buy a house and contribute to society. So when you accomplish that, it's not really like as exciting because it's like,
More of a load off
well,
your
good for you.
mind.
You're
Yeah.
supposed to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't get an award for doing what you're supposed to
Yeah.
do.
So I mean, it's even though it is an accomplishment, it's not really like, I don't know. It doesn't really.
Man, such a nihilist.
I
Let's
guess,
see.
I'm
Must
sorry.
be exhausting. What's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret. I don't know. I don't have any. Not learning how to play piano when I was a kid. If I had started playing piano when I was a kid, like my mom wanted me to, oh my gosh, that would make so much.
So much money?
I may be famous by now.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I'm just kidding.
well, I mean,
But,
you never know, because when you're a kid, you learn so much easier. That's why they're
Yeah.
teaching like a second language in kindergarten now, right?
That's
Know that?
crazy.
Yeah. It's because your brain is more malleable than we are now. Because you're kind
I
of
believe it.
set in your ways, and then you don't have as many wrinkles in your brain, so there's more room.
Yeah, I believe it, man. But I think
I think piano is one
not
of the most
learning how to play piano Just earlier because now I'm 26 and just now learning how
Happy
to play
birthday.
piano. Thank you.
Well, late birthday.
Yesterday
Yeah,
was my
sorry.
birthday.
Sorry.
But other than that, like, yeah, I mean, the bad decisions that I made in life and the good decisions that I made in my life have been equally valuable to like shaping who I
Right,
am.
because you almost learn more from the bad than you do the good.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I don't really have many regrets, I guess.
No regrets.
No regrets. Just I wish I would learn how to play piano.
Well, I may take that question out because it always makes people feel sad. That's why I follow it up with the favorite joke, but no one knows a joke, so it makes
my
it
life. My life is a joke.
Well, here's a joke. I meant to tell it last time, but I couldn't remember it. But it's one my dad told me when I was a kid, and I didn't get it until recently. But so my uncle or my great uncle had 2 wooden legs, and his house caught on fire, and he burned to the ground. Isn't that stupid?
Yes, like his legs burnt off.
Yeah.
He burned to the ground. Oh man.
Yeah. You're welcome, Dad.
Jokes.
That was for you.
I think we were recording when we were talking about jokes and how they're kind of just like jokes are funny. Jokes are funny, but they're not something that you just
Memorize.
You don't. I don't retain jokes. Like if you tell me a funny joke and maybe it's like the funniest joke I've ever heard, I'm not gonna think about it all day. Like I'm gonna be like, dude, that was freaking funny, and then like I'm just gonna move on with my day.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that I like think about. It's not like, oh man,
Did you ever have any of those joke books that was like 1,000 jokes or whatever?
Oh yeah.
I used to have those. I could read 5 jokes in a row. By the time I walk out the door, I wouldn't remember a single one.
Yeah, it's just like
Something about it, they don't retain.
It's just like
weird.
instant. I mean, it's like watching like a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
You don't really. I mean, unless it's just like
A crazy
life-changing
joke.
funny.
Yeah,
It's like you don't really recall it. It's just like you. When someone tells like a joke and they're a funny person, you identify with them as being a funny person and not like what jokes they say.
Right,
You know what I mean?
I wonder too if like the reason we can't remember a joke is because when we hear the joke, we start laughing, and maybe that feeling of dopamine from a laugh kind of fogs our memory.
Yeah.
We can't. I've never actually thought of that.
That's
before.
possible.
I have to Google that so I don't sound like an idiot to the science community. I'm sure someone's sitting behind their computer. No, it's not why.
That's hilarious.
But
that was a good joke. I might not remember it though.
Oh, well, it's recorded.
You know what? It is recorded.
So if you had to reference back to it, I don't know what the timestamp is, but all right, I'm gonna skip that one for now. I'm just gonna mark through that. I never use that. What's your go-to piece of advice? Do you have any?
Go-to piece of
piano as a kid?
advice. Start learning music. No, I mean it's not for everybody. Let's see. Biggest piece of advice. I mean, I think everyone's in different walks in life. So like my advice is could be only applicable to like certain people, but I would say that as I've grown like more mature and grown in my faith in God, I would say to just learn about God and learn about Jesus. If you have questions about them, find somebody to answer them, or if you don't have anybody, you can reach out to me. But
I'll put your Twitter right.
Yeah,
here.
I'll put my Twitter. But I think that's the most valuable thing for anybody. I can talk about music all day and not apply to anybody, but like having a relationship with Jesus is like the biggest thing.
Yeah,
so
it kind of applies to everyone too.
Yeah, it applies to everyone, and it's like it applies to your life after this life. So eternal life. So
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
I think that's the most important thing. So learn about Jesus.
Learn about the Jesus. I was thinking of the Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski.
Yeah, there's a guy named the Jesus in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Really? Oh, that's a good movie. Yeah, didn't you watch it at Collis's house with us one time?
What's it about?
It's the dude. He's like this big stoner guy, and his basically. The
Does he
story-
wear the robe?
Yeah, the bathrobe.
No, I've never seen that. I know what you're talking about, but I've never seen it.
That's a good movie.
I've never seen
There's
it.
a guy in there, the name of Jesus. All right. Well, that's all the boring questions out of the way.
Okay.
So let's do the fun ones now.
Okay.
Let's see. Gosh, this is the part where I always don't know
Give
where
me your
to
best
go.
shot.
Dude, you know how many questions I've gotten here? Hold on, I've added some more. I've got 343 questions.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my
Got a lot
gosh.
of free time, all right? I think we're good on time, yeah.
Yeah. We're
Okay, here's one start off weird. What mythical creature do you wish actually existed? Liger, right? Liger. Bred for its skills and
I
magic.
think some kind of like. I think the most fun would be to have like a mythical creature that's not like so, you know,
Aggressive.
words.
Filler.
Integrated into an environment to where like you can just go see them. You know what I mean? Like I like the idea of like a mythical monster that like you don't really see, but we know we have proof that exists.
Like Bigfoot.
Like the Loch Ness monster. Like if the Loch Ness monster, or that's not really a mythological creature, but like
Mythical is the
mythical.
yeah. That's a big difference in mythological.
Oh.
I don't know. Don't take these questions so seriously. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, maybe the Loch Ness monster. I like the idea of having like a mystery and
Right,
like
yeah, it's
not something that you see or have very
Or
much
you hear
footage
one
of.
old guy in like a tavern say,
Yeah,
"I've
he's like,
seen the Loch Ness
I
Monster."
seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
But if we had like proof that it existed for a fact, we had objective proof, but like we just had to find it. Like I think that would be really sick.
You remember that documentary that Animal Planet released about mermaids?
No.
Did you watch that?
No.
Oh my gosh, dude, it was great because everyone was buying into it. But it was like this. I think it was Animal Planet or Discovery. I can't remember exactly. But it was this full like hour production where there's these people talking about it, and then they showed like footage. I knew it was fake to begin with, but when they showed the footage, it was obvious because it was like it showed a mermaid on the beach. Like it showed the water come up, I think, and it showed the mermaid appear on the beach, and it didn't look like Ariel from The Little Mermaid. It looked like a monster basically. It was, it still had the fish legs, tail, whatever. But then the upper half was like it looked like a scampi or a scamp or whatever from Oblivion, So it looked scary and it like reached out towards the camera and then it cut and I was like, dude, that was so scripted. It was, and then
Yeah,
people were
dude.
buying it, dude.
I don't understand how people buy into those things they see on TV.
It was great though. I loved it. I loved watching it, and then I watched it with people that believed it, so it was even better because they was
Oh
like,
my god.
"Did you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah, they wanted you to see that," But yeah, that's mermaids would be kind of cool, I guess. Be kind of terrifying actually, because imagine like you see someone out in the middle of the ocean, help.
Yeah.
You go to them, you pull them out, and they got fish legs. It's like, well, that's awkward.
Why would they need help if they're in the water?
Well, it's a trap. It's like a siren to get you in to help them. And then once you help them, they take your voice away. I'm thinking of Little Mermaid, I think.
Oh, really?
I'm thinking of the Mermaid movie.
I don't know much about mythical creatures like that.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll just move on. Let's see. I've already asked those. Do you like to always have something to work on, or do you just like to relax ever? Like, you always like to keep yourself busy?
When I started my job, I'm working 8 to 5 every single weekday.
Like Dolly Parton?
Dolly Parton, yeah.
She's 9 to 5, actually.
But I really wanted to like get into a schedule. Like I really wanted to start piano lessons. I really wanted to start working out and just be on a set schedule. But now that I do have a set schedule, more or less, of like piano lessons and working out and just like things that I do on certain days of the week, it's kind of goes against like who I am, because I've really been like a flexible, on the fly kind of person,
Yeah.
Like my friends, we never really, I'm not the kind of person that would like, if we want to hang out, we need to like plan it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
schedule it.
Like for instance,
today?
yeah, well, today's different, but
Yeah, I know.
like back when we were just like hanging out and stuff, we didn't have to plan to play
you just
Xbox.
text.
You just
Yeah,
like,
you
hey,
just-
get on Xbox. I'm like, all right,
Get on,
I'm
get
getting
on,
on.
get on,
Yeah,
get on.
And even today, like, I'm just like, hey, you want to play up disc golf? I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm just like a very flexible, on the fly person. So I think that's really what I'm naturally leaning towards. I don't really like to. And what was the verbiage of the question?
Uh, do you like to always have something to work on, or do you like to take it easy or relax or whatever?
Um, yeah, I'm a take it easy kind of guy. I mean, I like to.
I go back and forth with it.
I like to have stuff to work on. Um, but at the same time, like I don't want to be held down by that. If I want to just relax, I don't want to be like feel guilty because I didn't work on something. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So I'm a take it easy kind of guy for sure.
That's why I don't like buying a RuneScape membership, because if I buy it, I feel like I have to keep playing it to get my money's worth. I know
Yeah.
that sounds way out of left field, but that's just when you said that, it made me think like that's why I hate buying any sort of membership. I mean, for anything.
I can
'cause
see
it's
that
like,
actually.
because it's like you're paying money for it and you're not doing it, and it's like I'm wasting my money, but I really want to do it. But
Yeah.
I feel like I have to do it every day, all day to get my money's worth, which is not good. For
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I've never thought about it that way, but I definitely
Sorry
see.
to plant that seed. in
No,
your
I
head.
definitely don't have that seed because I will pay for RuneScape no matter how much I play it because like I love to just like get on RuneScape in my free time and just do whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Should add a question. How many 99s do you have?
no
one cares, though. It's like something
I can't remember how many I have.
I've only got one in cooking, I think. So
I know my first one was mining, and I don't want to.
I'm just got attacked by my water. Jesus.
We're talking bad about mining, man.
I guess so. My God. What is...
My questions.
No. No. Oh my God. What a show. What a show. Filler.
Filler.
Let's see. Do you have any bad habits? Wait, hold on. Do you have any bad habits? That's the end of the question. I thought that was...
Bad habits. Bad habits.
like not good habits.
I'm trying to think.
Picking your nails, is that a bad habit?
No, it's not a habit. Bad habits.
You're just
I don't
perfect.
know. I don't really. I mean, I know I probably have bad habits, but they're so ingrained in my like just as normal processes that I just probably don't recognize them as bad habits.
Yeah. Mine would probably be...
bad habits.
Oh.
Not texting people back. Like I will get texts, and like I will answer the question in my head, and like I'll be like, yeah, like they'll text me and be like, hey, we're doing this or something. And I'm like, okay, I've confirmed that in my own mind. I don't need to send a text.
They know.
They know that I've confirmed it. But like, yeah, I think that extends to other things, but I'm just like a bad texter. Like if I'll sometimes just process the text on my end, like I'll process the information that they just gave me in my own mind, and that'll be the extent of it. Like I won't follow up or anything. I was like, okay, I have that information. I know that we're doing this.
Right.
And they'll be like, hey, I never heard back from you. Are we still on? And I'm like, yeah, I confirmed it in my head.
Like, are you crazy?
But yeah, I would say that's a bad habit. Just texting people back.
Huh. I was gonna say mine would probably be not eating very well. I eat so much crap.
Oh, dude.
Did I treat my stomach like a dump truck?
That goes back to just what I was saying. I have bad habits that I've probably just normalized in my life, and
Right.
eating bad is like I just bought a grill for my house, so I've been like trying to grill like some kind of meat and just have like rice and broccoli or vegetables, just like eat healthy, but
Yeah.
it doesn't always work that way. You
Yeah.
gotta like buy groceries and just
Yeah. I had to
use
go to the
them.
store yesterday.
Sucks.
I got brown rice for the first time in my life.
Brown rice, really?
Well, I mean, I've eaten it before, but I actually bought some myself.
You have to cook brown rice longer than white rice.
You want to start that sentence
Blah,
over?
blah, blah, blah. Because the bran on we're gonna talk about rice now. The
Welcome to
bran
the rice cast.
the rice cast. I think it's the bran on rice. On white rice, they like grind that bran off, so it's no longer brown rice. So brown rice just has the bran still on it, so that's why it takes longer to cook than white rice.
So it's all a lie. Is
It's
what you're
all a
saying?
lie, yeah. I think I could be wrong. Rice people don't come after me,
The rice community is very territorial over.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you know of my rice whenever.
Get
I
a
cook
rice
it.
cooker.
Oh yeah. They have
Dude,
these
it's
things.
changed my life.
Really?
They're so easy. Rice is like kind of hard to make. If you don't know what you're doing, rice is kind of hard to make.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Unless like there's a couple ways. You can like slow cook rice, like which is like the traditional way, but you can buy those like instant rices where you just like boil them like pasta.
Yeah, I've ate those. I'm not a big fan.
Um,
Like Uncle Ben's or whatever. That we're
yeah,
talking about.
boil in a bag, minute rice or
Yeah,
whatever.
I actually got some like fresh,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Like bagged
Dry,
rice.
yeah, dry rice
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, man. Getting a rice cooker, like it's so nice because it's just like perfect rice every time.
Mm.
And you don't have to you just put it in. It tells you how much water to put in. You just press the button, and I think it senses. So you put the water in, and basically the rice absorbs the water and like cooks in the water. But when the water's all gone, that's when the rice starts to burn, and that's like typically what happens when you try to cook rice on a stove. But the Instapot, the rice cooker, I think it like when it detects there's no more water, it turns off. So when there's no more water for the rice to like absorb or cook in, it turns off, and then it just like warms your rice. So it doesn't like it's revolutionary. You just get
Pretty sick.
yeah, just get a rice cooker.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll write that down.
Question number 500: do you
Yeah.
have a rice cooker?
Yeah, I'll have to add that one on there. I think I'm going to ask this question every time. So, do you believe in astrology? Like, okay, do you know what astrology is?
Astrology is like Virgo and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
It's not astronomy.
No, astronomy is like
Astronomy is like the study of actual space.
Yeah, astrology is like your horoscope, stuff
Yeah,
like that. Do you
no,
believe
it's
in
bull.
that?
It's bull crap.
Yeah,
No, it's stupid.
yeah. That's what we was talking about. It's like how is it that people that are born at the same time as me are going to have the same exact kind of day? Does that make sense? Like they say you're going to have a good day if you're a Virgo. It's like, well,
yeah.
how am I going to have a good day? And then some guy in Zimbabwe who was born in September as well, he's
Yeah.
also going to have a good day because we was born at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like cosmic intervention.
Yeah,
or
you've
something.
never really thought about that. It's like if that were the case, like each month, the people that were born that month, it would be a good month only for them or whatever.
I would think. I mean, you have a horoscope all the time. Like, like I'm a Virgo, or what? Do you even know what yours is?
I'm a Taurus.
Taurus.
Mm-hmm. And then I hate people that are like, "Oh, you're a Taurus? You seem like a Taurus. You act like a Taurus."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Gosh,
like,
that's so stupid. You would have said that if I had said anything.
Yeah, it's
Because like people, I think they make these broad generalizations so it applies to like everyone. So you could read any of them and be like, oh yeah, that applies to me in some way.
That's what I was thinking.
But
too.
people only read theirs,
So
and they're like,
see
oh,
everyone.
that's me.
Yeah.
But if you read another one, it'd be like, yeah, you could
That's me too.
That's me as
Yeah,
well.
I didn't know I was a Taurus. What the heck? Yeah, they're made for people to only read their own and not read anyone else's.
Yeah.
And then it's just, I guess it's a fun little thing people can do. I'm not knocking it, I guess, but when people take it so seriously, like we made the joke last time, like, I just wrecked my car. I'm such a Gemini. It's like, no,
How
that's
Gemini
not,
of you?
That's
Like
not.
the cop shows up, he's like, astrological sign, Gemini, and he's like, of course.
Yeah, he's asking like license, registration, astrology sign. It's like Gemini. Okay, well, have a nice day, ma'am.
Yeah, really.
Not what,
We know you didn't mean to do that.
yeah, I'm a Taurus. I understand. We're understanding as Tauruses. We don't judge Geminis. We're actually compatible. Are you single?
Are you single? That's hilarious.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna ask that question. I think I may replace that one because I always get good answers.
Wait, which one did you not ask me?
Well, I've got one here for random question. I
Oh,
restructured
okay.
the way I was gonna do this because I was just gonna ask like one random question from all 300 of these, but I was like, that doesn't sound as fun if I ask a bunch of these random questions at random. It makes it more random. Have I said random enough?
Random.
Random. Let's see. Do you do any volunteer work?
I
I can cut this out if you say no.
mean, work with my church. Is that kind of
Yeah.
volunteer work?
You're not getting paid. So
Yeah, I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, I
So
do the same.
I was involved in the BCM a lot, especially at ETSU. I was on the leadership team, so I did a lot of work there on campus with the BCM. Another key part of getting a job: do volunteer work and put it on your resume.
Yes.
Um,
There's a joke in my family where we put volunteerism on our resumes. Like I did it, my
Yeah.
brother did it, and we told my dad to do it. We all got jobs.
Oh, really? Yeah.
We all got jobs that we put that volunteerism. I don't think it's a word, but
volunteerism and leadership skills.
Yeah,
That's how you get a job, and
social
skills.
Yeah, they kind of all go hand in hand, you know.
Yeah.
If you're doing something with your own time that you're not making any money for, it's something you either really want to do or you were forced into, I guess. But usually you're more committed than if you was just getting a paycheck. I guess. I don't know.
It's like you're not expecting anything in return. So
right. Yeah. You're doing it's just for the
showing your servant heart. Yeah. So yeah, church. What my job gives us,
man.
my job gives us volunteer time off. So like if we wanted to go volunteer, like they would give us time off to go volunteer. Cool. Yeah, but I just haven't looked into any opportunities to do that yet.
Sounds pretty cool.
Maybe I am a bad person.
Well, I didn't want to say it. But let's see. Why do humans have such a strong urge to distract ourselves from the real world? You want me to read that again because I butchered it?
Distract ourselves from the real world. Like, what do you mean real world? Like real world responsibilities?
Just the real world in general. Like, you know, we're always like think of like, you know, how we play video games so much when we was younger, or how people are always on their cell phones or always on a social media or something, and they're not really living in the moment. Why do you think we do that? Is it because life sucks, I guess?
I think it's all about our own self-gratification. Like, what is going to fulfill my selfish ambitions the most, you know, in any given moment. So, like...
There you go again with the deep answers.
I mean, this is like... I'm speaking somewhat of like a biblical approach to it. Like, you know, selfish ambitions, you know, we're always reaching at, you know, what can quench our own selfish desires at any given moment. So that's why we're lost in
gratification.
Yeah, like that's why we can't go 2 seconds without scrolling through Instagram or social media, because like you're constantly having to feed that whatever
that dopamine
hit.
Need.
Yeah, so it's kind of like whatever else is in the world and interactable with in our daily walk, it's like
not as exciting.
If it's not exciting, like we don't want anything to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, our attention spans, I think, are a lot shorter now too. Like, I thought about this because so far we're at 1 hour and 19 minutes, and I know probably a lot of people aren't going to watch this whole thing just because
unless they're close friends with us, probably.
Right? Yeah, but it's like we're not.
Or unless they're still trying to figure out how to get a job. If we title,
right.
we're getting there. Stay tuned.
Making rice, you know.
Stay tuned. Yeah, rice. Yeah, if you want to learn how to make rice.
But it's, and I think the virus where the world ended, basically, I think it kind of is bringing people back to. I don't know. It's kind of made the world small again. I think, at least, where you're not out doing all this crazy stuff all the time. You're kind of, you know, more with yourself, really. That's kind of one of the reasons I started this show thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of made people appreciate, at least for me, appreciate some of the smaller things in life. You know, just catching up with old friends and stuff like that. Not always having to do something grandiose or something like that. And it's kind of changed perspective on things. But
yeah, I agree, man. The coronavirus really like slowed down the pace of life for a lot of people, and it, like you had no choice but to like just kind of look around you, and
stuck at home, and it's like
I can only look at the same Instagram pictures for so long. I have to like actually look up around me and just like see what's going on.
Yeah,
I think that would be a good piece of advice. Like, take a break from social media. I recently took like a few weeks off of social media, and anytime I would look at my phone to get on social media, I would like not get on it, or I wouldn't have the app. And in that moment, when I put my phone down, I would look up around me or like look who I'm with, and I would tell myself, okay, everything that you're seeing right now is what you would have missed if you had been looking at Instagram.
That's right, yeah. And it's funny too, because the stuff that you're in at the moment, for someone else would probably be something that they would look up online.
Yeah.
Like, so say you was with your friends playing ping pong or something.
Yeah.
And you're on your phone looking at other people, someone somewhere else would probably be looking up your life playing ping pong, like, man, I wish that was me.
Yeah.
But it's like you're there doing the same thing they're doing. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's kind of a grass is always greener sort of thing.
It is.
and you only see the good parts of people's life on social media, unless it's like a tragic, if someone passes away or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll put that, but it's like you only see the highlights of people's life. You don't really see the day to day
Yeah, that's true.
mundaneness of it. But
That is true.
that actually goes with another question. I can't remember, or I can't find it, but I remember what it was. It was something about how do you feel immediately after you get off social media. Like, say you're on social media for however long, and then you turn your phone off. What's like your first feeling? It's just like, do you feel better? Do you feel worse? It's like,
Well, it's kind of like if you're feeding into that desire to be on social media and to, whatever you're getting out of social media, whether it be like attention or pride or um, just like feeling empty space. It's kind of like weaning yourself off of a like a drug, honestly. So like if you indulge in social media for just like hours on end and you set it down, it may feel refreshing, but oftentimes it's like you just feel like you need to get back on.
Yeah.
Get back on it, get back into it. You know what I mean?
There's a thing. It's FOMO. I think it's fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are like that. I kind of got over that after a long time ago, because I mean I like to do stuff, but like if I didn't do something, it's like, well, there will either always be another time, or maybe it's like you don't have to be a part of everything.
Yeah.
Basically.
And I think I agree, because for a long time I had social media because like, what if somebody reaches out to me? What if somebody what if somebody wants to talk or says something, or what if I miss something on Instagram that will, or any social media? But it's like I've come to realize that after years, like I'm not gonna miss anything if I don't have Instagram for a month.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing. What am I gonna miss?
I didn't have Instagram, or I had Instagram, back in high school, and then I got rid of it maybe around, or I deactivated or whatever, where you can come back or whatever. I didn't want to get rid of all my pictures, basically. And I came back after like probably 6 or 7 years. It was a long time. And I got back on, and I was like, people are still just putting selfies on here. That's it.
Yeah.
Selfies and food. And I was like, well, I didn't really miss much. So
I've really taken. I like photography.
Yeah, your pictures are always really interesting.
Yeah, I try, but I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing. Those are all taken with my phone. But I follow a lot of like really nice photographers, and
you follow the MySpace Tom guy.
I can't say that I do.
He actually takes some really good pictures.
Really?
Yeah, look it up. He's like,
I'll check him out.
Photography.
But yeah, like digital art and digital design and photography, that's what I get on Instagram to see. I've really trying to stay away from just following people that all they do is post selfies
or their food or whatever.
Or their food. Like no offense to anybody if I don't follow you,
that's
but
all right. They've tuned out by now.
That's not. Yeah, they're tuned out. We can say anything now.
Yeah, we're in the hour mark. No one's watching.
We can say anything now. But yeah, I think that's like really helps me to not
compare yourself to other people.
Compare myself to other people. Worry about who's liking my stuff, and like, just make it. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. It's a lot of this stuff's hard to put into words. It's more of like little things that we probably subconscious things that we don't even realize. When you put a picture on there, and it's like you get off the app after you do this. Like when you put a picture on, like you get off the app and then you go do something. You come back and you see, oh, I've got 4 likes or whatever, and then you.
Yeah, I really have to like force myself to do that, and that's like unhealthy because, whenever you post something online, if you're just like refreshing all day, like who liked it,
Yeah.
I think that's so unhealthy, man.
Yeah.
So like the once or twice a year post that I make on Instagram, it's like I have to like I'll just post it and just do what I have to disconnect from it.
Well, I feel like too, like I'm the same way. I barely put anything. Like this show is like the last thing I've put on Facebook, and probably since my dog died 3 years ago. So
sorry for your loss.
Yeah, rip Lucy.
I mean, this will probably be the first thing I posted on my Facebook, and like, who knows how long.
Yeah, but it almost makes it more special when you do just put stuff like this, because I mean, if you're posting every day, people are just looking at like, yep, he's still there. He's still taking pictures in the gym. He's still, but if you make it a point of like you only post stuff that you really are proud of or care about,
Hmm.
it kind of adds a level of gravity to what you post, and it makes it
Yeah, I
more.
completely agree because when I post on Instagram, whether it just be like a story or whatever, or like an actual post,
You
like
with your cake.
yeah, with my my cake. Um, if I'm posting stuff every single day, like every hour, or every few hours, every single day, like people get tired of seeing it. Like, but if you post like once a month, oh, it's like, oh,
It's like he's back.
he's back. Let's see what he has to
More
say.
about quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Essentially. But
So like I feel like there's been a lot of times where I've went to share a song or share a photograph or like an Instagram post or something on Instagram, and I'm just like, nobody really cares.
yeah, I was gonna say no.
Nobody really
At the
cares.
end of the day, people only care about themselves.
Yeah,
And
no
then-
one really cares. No one's gonna think this is as cool as you think it is.
Yeah.
So just like I'm just not gonna share it.
Do you okay, so do you post songs from like Spotify or whatever? Like I've seen people
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, I do.
Have you ever listened to a song that someone else has posted on there?
That is a good question because
I was thinking about that the other day because I seen one. I was like, I'm not listening to that.
it just depends on how I know the person. If I know the person, and I know that
Have good musical taste. Or
they
something
have good
like that, or
musical
similar
taste,
to
or
yours at least.
I would be interested to hear what they're listening to, I'll click on it. But if I know them and like I kind of just like, no offense, but I mean, there's some people that think that about me. They probably see the songs that I post and they're like, well, I'm not really interested in what Patrick is doing in
Yeah.
his direction, so I probably won't click on that. But like, if there's someone that I'm interested in and like interested in like their artistic direction or creative direction or whatever, I'll usually click on it. Or if like the album art is like intriguing, I mean, maybe it would lead me to. But I would say for the most part, no, I don't click on it.
I've not done it ever once. Sorry.
But-
so if you posted, I probably haven't.
Yeah, so that's getting back to what I was saying. Like, I've gone to post songs before and I've gone to share Instagram posts and stuff, but I'm just like, okay, there's maybe one person that would click on this that I would know would be interested in this, so I'm
Yeah.
just not going to share it. Like, and I think that's another thing that people need to realize is like, no one really cares about you on
Like I
social
said,
media.
what a nihilist.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a freeing thing because I was so prideful and I was like, man, I'm like the coolest thing ever. You know what I mean? Like early, like late high school when I was exploring fashion and like since
PCL.
yeah,
Remember that?
like PC.
Isn't that the flowers thing?
Oh, Power Corruption Lies, yeah,
Sure. Whatever.
yeah, Power Corruption Lies Supreme hoodie. That was a good hoodie.
You still wear it?
Uh,
Supreme? Or you still?
I've sold a lot of my stuff. I have like the big items still, but like I'm not really into Supreme anymore.
What is that called? Hype
Hype
Beast?
Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, Supreme has drastically changed since I was into it. Like back in,
You sound
Yeah.
like an old man. Like
I
back
know.
in my day,
well,
Supreme
they've
meant
changed
something.
they've changed creative directors. They don't use the same materials. They've changed the structure of their clothing. They changed their design.
They
Like,
still make weird stuff.
yeah, they make weird stuff. But
Trucks or like skateboard trucks or like what was that one I remember? What was it? There was one that was like really out there.
dude, they make the most random things. You wouldn't believe it.
I actually seen a thing earlier. It's Nordstrom. You've heard of them? Nordstrom.
Yeah.
They sold a chair, or it was a bag. Like it had a chain, and those bags girls wear, but it was a bag. But instead of a bag, it was a chair, like a fold-out chair on a chain.
What?
She wore.
I don't
And it
remember
was
that.
$900.
I don't remember that.
And it was sold out.
Oh my gosh.
It literally looked like a fold-out chair. You see in like a gym or something.
People really, I mean, there's collectors of like the actual clothing, but there's a lot of people that only collect the accessories.
I mean, yeah, I get it that no one.
Like, who's gonna buy a Supreme crowbar? Like, it's a
Crowbar, that's what I was trying to
crowbar
think
with
of.
like a Supreme logo on it.
Can you imagine like if you had like a contractor come out to your house and like working on your deck or something, and he pulls out a crowbar and
It's a Supreme. That's sick, bro.
it'd be great.
But yeah, just to get back to that point, I was saying like I was so prideful in like social media and stuff.
You sort of create an image of yourself.
Yeah,
on
you
social
create an
media.
image of yourself on social media, and you
That's
just
not
think that like when you
necessarily,
post something that people are like, you care about what people think, and like you're interested in what people think, and like you want to show people like, hey, look at this, look what I'm wearing,
Yeah.
look at what I'm listening to, look what I found on Instagram. And it's just like once you come to the realization that like nobody freaking cares,
Yeah.
it's like kind of freeing. It's like, man, nobody cares about me now. I don't have to I don't have to do this crap anymore.
That was kind of the way I got through like a speech class, because when you give a
Oh
speech,
yeah.
when you give a speech, you're nervous about it, but you're also in a class of other people who are going to be giving a speech.
Yeah.
So they're just as nervous about theirs, and they're not even listening to your speech. When you're up there, you could say bye-bye, something just random.
Something random, and they're probably just like,
They're sitting there worried about their speech.
They're
That's why it's a
texting.
good idea to go first, because
Oh,
once you go up there first, this is advice for introverts. Once you go up there first, everyone else is still thinking about their speech.
Mhm.
You sit down, dude, you're just like,
look at these idiots.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So you can judge everyone after that.
You set the standard.
Yeah,
So,
that too,
if
which is a
you-
good and a bad thing.
Yeah, if like the smartest person in the class goes first, they're the standard. So anything else after them is going to be compared to theirs.
Yeah.
For some reason, I mean I have a bachelor's in computer science, but for some reason they emphasized presentations like so much, and I didn't understand why. Like we had to give presentations like almost every week in some classes for a computer science, like a coding class, and I didn't understand why. But when I started doing interviews and like speaking and stuff, like
Yeah.
I realized why. They're training those social skills and those presentation skills. Like
Yeah, and a presentation is like one of the hardest things you can do, and then so it makes the interview that much easier.
yeah, if you can give a good presentation without like, just shaking.
What's your favorite animal?
Yeah, I think that's really going to help you in an interview. So,
What's funny is that I don't know if this is still true, but I remember seeing a long time ago, like on the top 2 list, or on the list of most feared things, giving a speech
public speaking
is higher than death.
Yeah,
So
I think I remember. I've seen that.
So most people would rather be in the coffin than give the eulogy.
That's crazy. I mean,
Well, I don't know what it is about giving. I mean, I'm not the best at it. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's weird.
it's just like all
All
the
we're
attention's
doing is
on you.
talking.
All you're doing is talking. Yeah. Well, it's just like the fear of being like looked down upon. Like you're presenting it's like
You're vulnerable. and then-
you're making yourself vulnerable in front of all these people and like open to interpretation and opinion and judgment, and it's just like,
But isn't it weird though? We post on social media and it gets a even bigger audience. Than
yeah, it
that
is
little
funny.
classroom of like 25 people, and it's like,
Well, I think one part of it is like all your flaws are going to be present they're visible in your presentation.
yeah,
So like all your stutters and all your misinformation, and you're like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about.
yeah,
And like you can't really do that with the Instagram post.
yeah. You can just trim it
If
down
you're
to
just like-
exactly what you want to see. Yeah,
It's just like,
get real teethy with the sun.
yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point. All right, I guess that's good for that question. We stick on questions for a lot longer than I'm. Well, which is a good thing actually, because then I can save these questions.
Well,
for
you
other
might have
people.
guests that can't do that. So
Yeah,
you need the
That's
questions.
why I came up with like 300. So my God, surely we can make an hour.
You're
out of
reading
that.
the last one, just sweating. You're 30 minutes in. You're just like,
Let me read it real slow.
forgot how to read.
Yeah.
That's a funny joke.
Yeah, that is a good one actually. I have to write that down as well. What was it again? I'm just kidding. Oh, here's one. What's your favorite band name? I don't mean your favorite band. I mean
Favorite
like,
band name?
I'll give you an example.
Oh my gosh.
Mine is Hoobastank.
Who bestank? Who bestank?
Yeah, exactly. It's such a funny name. I've not listened to any of their music. I think they had one popular song, but just the sound of the band name. Like you could hate the music completely.
I'm trying to think.
Who did the Jerry Was a Race Car Driver song? Who was that?
Gary was a race car driver.
Remember?
Was that Promise or Praxis?
I think it was Promise.
Promise. Praxis is Buckethead's old band. Promise is yeah.
Jerry Was a Race
Jerry
Car
was a
Driver.
race car driver.
Yeah.
And they made My Name Is Mud. My name is Mud.
Yeah. Ooh, wait, John the Fisherman. Who was that? I just keep thinking of old Guitar Hero songs. Remember John the
I
Fisherman?
don't remember that.
God, who was that? I don't remember. That was so
Um,
long ago.
I don't know. I'm sure I could find a better answer. But I think one of the things that came to mind was Cake.
Cake. That's pretty good.
Cake.
I'm
Like
trying
that's
to
just their
think.
band name.
What's it? I don't know if I've heard of them or not.
You would know. They have a very unique song style. You probably recognize their song if you.
Huh.
Um.
Yeah, I'll have to. I don't know if I've heard of them or heard any of they probably have a single I've heard. You know, most bands that you hear of have at least one single.
I'm trying to think of a popular song by them.
What about Hootie and the Blowfish?
Hootie and the Blowfish. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Dang, I know I could think of like
I
a
know I wrote
band
these
that's
questions,
like
so like when I write the
perfectly
questions,
answer this question, but I can't. I'm
yeah,
bad at those kinds of questions. Like
I know it puts you on
name
the
your
spot.
favorite movie or name your favorite song of all time. It's like, how do you even think of something like that?
Yeah, I know. I have the benefit of writing the question down, so whenever I write these, I come up with a lot of these on my own. So I see stuff that happens, and I think that'd be a good question. So I kind of have a little bit.
Oh, Butthole Surfers.
Is that a real name?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
but it's like a '90s Third Eye Blind type of band,
Oh right, yeah.
but it's just like it's like an alt rock.
Man, that's a good. That's better than
I
Hoobastank,
think-
and I had time to think about that.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean
my
they make
gosh.
good music. I mean, I feel like Third Eye Blind and stuff like early 2000s type music.
With the frosted tips and
Yeah, like
shark tooth necklace.
Pearl Jam and Oasis, stuff like that. They make that kind of music.
Yeah,
Butthole Surfers.
Butthole Surfers. Maybe that'll be the name of the episode. Actually,
Maybe.
what'd you say the other name was? Oh,
How to Get a
Ricecast.
Job.
Yeah, how to get a job.
How to cook rice and how to get a job.
It's like Jordan Peterson with our rules of life here.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. What mistake do you keep making again and again?
Mistake I keep making again and again.
Getting bleach on this shirt, maybe.
Getting bleach on the shirt, yeah. Well, what comes to mind is work, making the same doing the same things over and over again when I know like I've done them a million times. But I guess that's subjective to the realm of my job.
I mean, that suffices. If you don't want to think of something else.
I'm trying to think mistakes that I make a lot. Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Well, I mean, that's technically a good thing, I guess.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying. Like bad habits and mistakes that I make in my life have like become I've normalized them.
You're just a
and
walking mistake.
I've normalized them to the point where I don't recognize them.
Right. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, here's one. What job would you be terrible at?
Oh my gosh, any job that's like competitive, like
You're like one of the most competitive people I know.
No,
At least I guess
I'm
with
saying like
beer.
your job is like I'm trying to think, like some kind of sales, like where you have to sell something.
Oh, commission kind of thing.
Yeah, like commission based jobs,
Yeah,
like
I
where
would
you,
hate
you
those
have
too.
to like get the sale to get paid, like selling real estate, selling cars. I think, they just you become like a hateable person because you're trying to just like scam people into
That's
buying.
the light up here. Yeah, I know. Yeah, car salesman is one that I would probably be really bad
Yeah,
at.
who likes car salesmen? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You know what I would be bad at? Brain surgeon.
I mean,
not be
I
a
would
very good
definitely
brain
be
surgeon.
bad.
Gosh,
Well,
the lighting is so stupid.
it's
I
like
don't film in front of a window.
So brain surgeon is like if you go to school for 20 years to learn how to become a brain surgeon, and you just learn how to do it, because you have all that you
Well, I
retain.
meant me personally. Like right now, I would be horrible at it.
Oh, with no training?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I know. I'm not.
But
it's
I'm
not
saying
wrong.
I'm saying something that like I would hate doing
Well,
and probably
I would probably be bad at it anyway because the pressure. Like you got a person's brain right in
Oh,
front of
yeah.
you. It's like I don't
you're
know.
right. You're right.
I mean, even if I did have the training, I don't think I
Well,
would.
yeah, I think you're. Yeah, I agree.
High pressure is what I would hate. You said competitive. Well, I guess those kind of a little similar, but I mean, in terms of like, I don't want someone's life to depend on mine, basically.
Yeah, high risk jobs. So like
Yeah.
that's a high risk job.
Or like being an electrician,
Yeah.
like working on power lines, stuff like that. I would hate.
I don't think with any amount of training I could ever cut somebody open. like cut into someone's flesh and
sit
like
there and like, all right,
and like go through and perform surgery on someone's insides. Like
yeah,
I don't think I could do that.
It'd be
Like that's
gross
just
anyway,
like I could not cut into someone's skin. I don't think I could do it. It's not for me.
Go ahead. see how brave you get. Okay.
First step is to become a brain surgeon.
Stab your friend with a pencil.
Stab my friend. Well, I stabbed
That's
my
how
friend
all the
with a pencil.
greats started, Frankenstein. Let's see. Where would you spend all of your time if you could?
Music.
In music? Okay.
If I won the lottery, I would quit my job and start taking
help your buddy Ryan out.
Yeah, help my buddy Ryan out.
Thanks,
and
man.
I would go, I don't know if I would go to school, but I would take some kind of formal training for like sound design and music theory, and just so I could not be, I want to be not restricted by my technical abilities when it comes to like making music. I want to, if I want to make a certain sound, I want to know which synthesizer or which plugin or whatever I need to make that sound. So I want I want there to be no technical barriers in my creative direction.
Starting to sound like Kanye West now.
I mean, that's like, I don't think anyone's really there, but if you could make it to that point, I think, man, just being able to interpret exactly what you want to.
I think the closest person I can think of that's like that would be Prince. You ever listen to much Prince? I never really listened to him, but my God, that man understood music. He could play pretty much every instrument. Him and Paul McCartney. I don't think there's an instrument neither of them can not play. I don't think they play pretty much everything. We're 11:49 or 48. But
sorry, I had a call.
Oh,
but I'm not gonna.
You didn't mute your phone on the podcast.
It's muted. It's okay. No one's watching
Jamie,
at this point.
Jamie, start taking the phones next time.
Sorry, Jamie.
I don't have a Jamie. I'm just yelling into the empty couch over there. Let's see. Never know where to go because I have so many questions. Let's go towards these are my newer questions.
Yeah, ask me your most recent question.
Okay. Applebee's sells neither apples nor bees.
That is true. Applebee's.
It's not really a question. That's just the latest thing I wrote down.
I'm trying to think of a joke I had about Applebee's. I can't remember. I like Applebee's though.
Okay.
It's like Applebee's is one of those restaurants where you can go to like every once in a while. You'll be craving it, and then after you eat it, it's like, that was disgusting.
Yeah. It's like, why did I want that? And then you'll do it again in a month, Okay. Here's the last question I've got. Something you hope to never do again.
Oh my gosh. An interview for a job.
Like right now?
No. Like a professional interview.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
How many people, did you have a panel of people interviewing you, or is it just one person? Or
no, it was, so I did have interviews where it's just like a table of managers. But it's just like the amount of prep that I had to do for interviews was like the most work I ever put into anything in my whole college and high school career was interviews. Like I put more time into preparing for interviews, and just like I had a 10,000 word document of just interview prep.
My God. You laughed at me for having 300 questions written down, and you did that.
Well, you have to like.
You're like planning for every possible question, aren't you?
Pretty much, like.
Golly. You memorized all that, or
pretty much.
That's nuts.
Well, it's like you just have to be able to. So when they're looking for leadership skills, you don't memorize. Okay, there were some questions that I memorized because like they're the most popular questions, but a lot of them are just looking for scenarios for you to present your skills. So like leadership skills, volunteer skills, social skills. Yeah. So you remember certain scenarios.
It's more stories than like.
Yeah, you just remember stories. And so when they ask you a question, you're like, this story that I've memorized fits perfect for this question. So I can demonstrate my leadership skills from the scenario to answer their question. So it was really just that, like thinking of all the times I've stepped up and like taken charge in any given situation, leadership or like diligence, just stuff like that. But man, I was such a nervous wreck. Like I had interviews that were 3 hours long, and it was just like, it's like torture, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you're,
it's not fun to even talk about yourself, really.
but at the same time, I'm very intrigued by interviews. Like I'm in my current job, moving in a direction where I can interview people for the job.
Oh yeah.
And like I'm very intrigued by interviews, but I just don't want to be the interviewee.
You want to be in my seat, huh?
Yeah, I want to be in your seat.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it's different because we're just talking as friends, and there's not really any formal expectations.
Well, no, there is. There's actually a test at the end
Oh,
of this.
okay. All right.
I've actually put a bike lock on your tire, or not, one of those
Yeah,
boots on your car,
boot,
so
yeah,
you have to
okay.
be able to answer so many.
We'll see how I do.
But yeah. Let's see. How far you got to go?
Not far, just like in town. Just meet my dad for lunch.
Okay. What are we at? We're at 147. Can you believe that?
That's crazy. I feel like we could talk forever.
Yeah, I know. Let's see if
Now I understand what they said, what they mean in podcasts, where they're just like they
it's
can
not
just
a
talk
podcast.
for. Oh yeah, not a podcast.
But let's see. Let's go for 8 more minutes.
8 more
That
minutes.
good?
Yeah, man.
All right. Let's see. What's your thoughts on pushing someone's face into a cake?
Don't do it.
Well, I always see people do it. So they got a cake and they got 50 candles that are still lit on fire.
Yeah.
And they're like, boom. It's like, dude, you're
Yeah,
cruising for a bruise.
you're gonna kill him, man.
I mean, you're gonna get a candle in the eye or the
Yeah.
nose or or a flame in your face, and it's like it ruins the
Yeah,
cake too.
it's just like it ruins the cake, and you're making the situation about you. It's
yeah,
like,
because you're the guy that pushed the birthday person's face.
I'm taking over the situation. I'm taking the limelight from you right now. Like, this is your
I
birthday.
hadn't thought of
This
that.
is your celebration,
Yeah,
and now it's mine
yeah.
because I'm pushing
Because
your
you're
face.
the loser with cake on your
Yeah.
face.
It's just like man, just don't do it. No one cares about you, man.
I hadn't looked at it from that angle. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. What's up with medicine commercials? You know, those commercials where it's always like people moving in slow motion and like they're smiling and then like they're doing and they're all
You
the
gotta
same.
you
Is
gotta
that not
project
weird?
a positive image.
I know, but why are they all so similar?
I don't know. You just gotta promote. You gotta promote a healthy. You gotta promote the ideal lifestyle.
Yeah, but if I'm seeing some old lady play tennis while it's telling me that I could have diarrhea from their medicine, that's not really
Yeah.
giving me a good
Well, it's like
impression.
they're conveying a message like
you can
this
live
is
a normal
this
life.
is not you, but this can be you
Right.
if you take this
If you
medicine.
take
like
fibromyalgia.
look at how happy these people are. This isn't you,
Yeah.
but if
You're
you
a
want,
loser.
If you want this,
You can't play tennis with your grandpa because you
yeah.
chronic diarrhea. I don't know.
I mean, I don't. I read something. I don't know. I don't remember where I came across this, but it was someone making the claim that medical companies shouldn't make commercials or promote medicine for like specialized conditions.
I think I've seen that too, because it needs to be something that a doctor can determine themselves and not a customer. Like,
Yeah, I can't remember. It's like very, very specific illnesses or very, very
Yeah.
specific, treatments, and you see a commercial on it on like broadcast television. It's like,
Yeah.
why? Why do I need to see this? Like,
yeah, it's like 1 million people see it, but only probably like 100 people actually have that
yeah, it's like,
illness or
yeah,
whatever.
just a interesting question.
Yeah. I just always thought it was weird that all the commercials were like the same format of like people outdoors usually doing like this stuff like riding a boat or something really out there. And it's always like in slow motion. And even the structure's the same because usually it starts out with the person and they'll say how bad their life sucks. And then it'll cut to a narration talking about the benefits of taking the medicine. And then it'll cut to a third part where it shows the person doing something, and this is the side effects part,
Mhm.
where it says, "Don't take myalgia if you're pregnant, maybe become pregnant or nursing." And then it guts. The very end scene is the person who's from the beginning who's happy now, from
Yeah,
taking the medicine. It's like that same structure almost every time. The only one I can think is different is the one I think it's Crohn's disease, where it's like a person doing something and they look at the camera and they stop. You seen those?
I haven't seen those.
I'll have to clip that part of a commercial into the show just so I
Okay.
don't look like an idiot.
Is now a good time for a flare up?
Enough, Crohn's.
But,
I Dude, I don't watch TV. Like I'm like
I try
I'm
not
out of
to
touch
either.
with commercials, and
When
I
I go to
have
my parents, they're always watching the news, which drives me nuts anyway. But
no,
the
yeah.
news always has medicine
Imagine
commercials.
watching the news. No,
Yeah,
news. You should watch news. It's good to be informed.
but, yeah, I guess.
To some extent. Don't make it your identity.
Yeah, exactly. Just
I think. I mean, I don't. Not to get political or anything, but
yeah, these always turn political.
it only took 2 hours to get political.
Yeah,
but
like I said, no one's
like,
here.
obviously, you have your own. Everyone has their own views, but the thing, I don't mind people with opposing views, but don't make your political views your identity.
Right?
Like,
Yeah, it's like
it's just intolerable. Like, I don't want to talk to someone who has the same political views as me, but it's their identity. Like, that's their world revolves around it. Their identity is based in politics. Like, I'm not going to enjoy talking to you, even if we agree on everything.
well, it's funny because politics really is super boring.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like traditional thinking, where it's just these old men in suits writing out these documents and making all these rules, and I think it's more, I guess, the rules that affect our lives, I guess, is what people latch onto. But politics really is not that exciting,
It's not.
But
It's not for everyone.
it seems
But
like
we should be informed at some level
yeah.
so we can make it.
I think it's important to get sources from multiple people.
Oh,
not,
absolutely.
Not just
if you just watch
one
Fox
the
or
other.
if you just watch CNN.
Yeah, I'd say watch neither, but
Well, yeah, I watch neither of those.
But I don't know. It's just crazy. All right, that's enough politics now. I feel like these
Politics segment's over
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Here's a hard cut. I'm just kidding. Okay, here's one. Here's one I want to ask you since you give all these deep answers. So people always say you're too young to understand. You ever heard that? Someone say that?
Yeah.
So why is there a certain age requirement for certain knowledge? It's more of a joke question, so don't take it too seriously.
Well, do you want a serious answer?
I don't know. Whatever
I mean,
you want.
I don't really have a serious answer for that. I mean, I don't
why'd you
think. I don't know. I mean, I think when you say you're too young to know, or you're too young to understand, it's kind of like it's really subjective to the situation that you're saying that in.
Well, I have the inspiration for this question was when I was back at Ingles, and there was this woman. She was probably 80. Asked me about some sort of cooking thing or something like that. And I worked in produce anyway, but she asked me about this or whatever. I was like, yeah, I'm not too sure. And then she said, well, you're too young to understand. And I was like, well, you're 80 and you don't know. So what age do I have to be to know this?
Well,
because you don't
yeah.
even know. And why'd you ask me
Yeah.
anyway if you thought I was too young to understand?
I think a lot of times when someone makes that statement, it's kind of just like, well, I'm smart and you're dumb, so you wouldn't know. I think that's kind of like the capacity that question is, or that statement is referred to a lot of times. But I think it could be used in another context where like we're talking about our childhood compared to the childhood of the newest generation, where they're like, well, we had to use landlines, and you're too young to understand like what that'd be like.
Yeah, or they had to go to the library instead of using a computer.
Having to go to the library and having to like go to your friend's house to play video games together.
Which kind of miss, but yeah.
Yeah. So in that context, it's like, yeah, you're too young to really understand what that was like. But at the same time, it's like they can understand and imagine what it was like. They can, It's not like they would not be able to comprehend what that is like.
You went to another person's house?
I can't comprehend that.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Well, let's see. It is 12 now, so I'll close with this final thought.
Let's do it.
All right. So getting your oil changed at Walmart is like paying for a valet.
How so?
Because you pull up to the automotive section of Walmart, and then the guy comes out, you tell him what you need, you get out of your car, and you walk right inside. You don't have to park super far away.
You're valeted to go to Walmart.
I mean, you're paying for it, too.
You're paying for it.
You pay for the oil change.
Yeah.
And then they go and park your car, you go do your business in here, and you leave.
What if, okay.
And you're close to the store, too.
What if you did this? What if, like, you're like, hey, I'm here to get an oil change. He's like, all right, cool. And then, like, he's in the car, he starts the car, and then you, like, knock on the window, you're like, hey, man, I don't want an oil change. I changed my mind. But he's in the car, and you just walk off. So he goes and parks your car for you, and you just go in.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Is this
I've
a
never
life
thought about
hack
that.
now?
Yeah, it's a life hack. Unethical life hack. Um,
How to get a free valet from Walmart?
Yeah.
Get an oil change, then change your mind.
but just talk about Walmart oil change. Do you get your oil change at Walmart?
I just did yesterday. That's why I came up with that question.
How long do you have to wait?
Well,
How many? Let me ask you this: how many cars are in front of you when you pulled up to
I
Walmart?
went at about 10:30, so it wasn't too crowded.
Oh, okay.
I think I pulled right up to the gate there.
Oh, okay.
But usually it's lined up outside.
So I've heard, or I know Walmart's oil change prices are like lower than if you go to like Pennzoil or like
Yeah, but it's like a cheaper oil, I'm sure.
yeah.
But
But each time I go to Walmart to get my oil changed, it's like cars just lined up and there's no one in the cars, like they're in the store.
yeah,
And someone comes in my car and they're like, it's gonna be like an hour before we get to you. And I'm just like, I don't have time for this. I'd rather go pay $20 more to get instant oil change, better oil, and like all the amenities that come with like a nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I've tried multiple times to go to Walmart to get my oil
It's
change.
about timing with it because I went, yesterday was Friday and I went at 10:30, so most people are at work, but I'm off on Fridays, so I went in non-busy hours. And here's my complaint to Walmart, whichever camera wants to take it. They said they would call me over the intercom when it was done. I was like, okay. So I was in the store walking around. I bought a couple things, and then I was waiting for them to page me, and I never heard it. And I went, after I walked around pretty much more than I could, I went to the automotive, and I looked in the garage, and I couldn't see my car, and I was like, okay, so it must be done. And I went and told the guy, and he's like, yeah, it's been done. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I didn't hear anything. And then I got the paperwork they filled out, and it had the time that it was finished, and it was like 30 minutes ago. It's like, you couldn't have, I've been walking around for 30 minutes for no reason. So
what do they usually do? Call your name?
they'll say it on the intercom. I heard them say someone else's name, like they said, John, your car is ready in automotive or something like that.
Oh, really?
They didn't say mine because I was listening for it. So valet's not perfect at Walmart is my point. So
Oh, Walmart.
yeah, I know, but you take what you can get. But
Yeah.
anyway, does that do it for you?
Yeah, man. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah,
Nice to reminisce and talk about random things.
yeah. Once we turn the cameras off, we'll stab each other.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that on camera. I want to maintain the air of friendship here. But
If anyone, let's do this. If anyone has made it to this point in the video, comment the word.
oh, you're doing one of those things.
Yeah.
Chimera.
Chimera. What is that?
It's a word. I don't know. What's
Yeah.
your word? It's gotta be a
Um,
word you don't say normally, because then someone could accidentally say it.
say,
That's a lot of food.
I listen to cake.
I listen to cake, or you've heard of cake.
I've heard of cake.
What if someone hears the conversation from earlier and says, "I know what cake is, you uncultured swine.
Okay. We'll say,
You make dope beats."
comment below your favorite song.
Okay. Are you running the show now? Here, you want this microphone?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Patchley Show with his guest Ryan.
Just comment. I made it to the end. Just say that.
That works.
I made it to the end. Just say that.
And I'll do a giveaway of V-Bucks.
Yeah, we'll give you Fortnite gift card.
That way you can floss with your friends and not be a loser. At least because you're not flossing.
Yeah.
Also, floss your teeth. It's
Floss.
become a parent podcast now where I feel like we're lecturing.
Somebody's got to
kids.
hear it.
Yeah. Floss your teeth.
Somebody's got to say it.
Yeah.
Who's going to say it? I guess
your
we do.
dentist, I guess.
Yeah.
But call up your dentist. I'm not going to finish that quote.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, man, let's leave it on an awkward handshake. Look at the camera. Not that one, the other one. There you go.